Good morning, alumni and friends. I'm Tom Richmond, the Executive Director of Alumni Relations at Bradley, and I want to welcome you to Braves Talk, where we invite guests, some of them with national best-selling books, others who are changing the lives of students every day. Today, we're going to meet the Executive Director of the Smith Career Center and learn about resources that are welcoming to student beyond being a student, being an alum, something you can reach back for and stay connected and find out that this was not just a center for your senior year, but for wherever you are in your career. So my first guest and only guest, Rick Smith. Let's see if we can get Rick in. Welcome, Rick.
Thank you, Tom. Good to see you again.
So I'm going to turn it over to you. You've got some thoughts, and under this simple context, alumni are tuning in, and they are thinking about all the phases of their career, and they're in probably a different phase than when they first met you all. And I wanted to learn a little with you. What is it that Bradley can do for alumni? The Smith Career Center didn't stop being a resource just because they graduated.
Well, first off, the resources of the Smith Career Center are available to all alumni at no charge. And I want to really emphasize the no cost aspect of this, because many universities do charge their alumni to use, or they may limit the number of uses that they can have for free. But all of our resources remain available to alums anytime in their career. And this may be just simply talking to somebody on campus, having another set of eyes look over a resume, getting some different perspectives on an interview, whatever it is. But we have individual career advisors available based upon what your area of study was when you were at Bradley. And we can meet with you basically Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. If we need to do something that's a little bit different in time, just let us know and we'll see what we can do.
So you've got probably a set of things people call you the most for, and they want to do something in their career, or they also might be looking for support in finding people they want to work with and know how your services work to get them potential attention. Where do you want to start?
Well, some basic things is our one-on-one career meetings. This is simply visiting our website, going in, selecting the person you want to talk to, setting up a 30-minute appointment. Most of the time, we have alums that will come in and say, can somebody look over my resume? It's not working right now. I'm not getting interviews. I don't understand why. And that's where a member of our staff will look over the resume and say, well, show me what you're looking at. This is what's going on. You may not be targeting correctly or using keywords or really hitting it the right way. And what I mean by that is using the correct avenue to get access to the employer. We do have some alums that will ask us for interviewing guidance. Some people will call it mock interviews. I tend to prefer to really just meet with the individual and ask them how they're answering questions, helping them to devise better methodologies for answering questions, and questions to ask the interviewer as well. And then we do also get a number of instances where we have alums that contact us about salary and say, well, is what I'm being offered a good salary? How can I negotiate for more? Is it appropriate to negotiate? And it does depend. It's a case-by-case basis type of thing. And then one of the other things that we tend to do is we have alums that move to other parts of the country and they go, but I don't know employers in this area. Do you have a way for me to figure out which employers are the industries that I'm interested in? And we do have resources for that as well to show you. And all of the stuff, again, is available to you at your leisure, at your need.
So I'm curious, and I think this is great. You're really talking about a customized thing. A person says, yes, I'm going here, or I'm looking in this industry, or I'm having this experience. And it's really a very individualized experience. At the same time, you also offer a series of resources online and follow-up. What are some of the things an alum could do right now, logging in to prepare them for this personal conversation?
Well, just going to the website for Alumni Career Resources is a good place to start and seeing what's there. And then once you get in, you'll be directed into the student element or the student side of our website, which is the same information that alumni can use. Our primary tool that we use is a resource called Bradley Network. This is actually powered by a system called 1220. We have a license for it, and this is where any job or internship that is shared with the university is posted. And we put it out there for you to see. If it's something you want to apply to, you follow the directions that are in there. When we have different events on campus, like job fairs or workshops, they're put in there. But through 1220, we also receive a number of virtual sessions as well, primarily from a partner called Career Echo, which is a company that does online virtual job and graduate school fairs. So if you're leaning towards going on to graduate school, that's a good way to meet with different programs from across the country. Also inside of Bradley Network, there is an extensive resource library. This is where members of my staff and myself, we've gone in and written documents, resources, guides, whatever you want to call it, that can walk you through a process, such as, I don't know how to write a cover letter. You can go in and it'll walk you through from the beginning to the end, or the importance of a thank you note, or how to research an employer, whatever it is. But that's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you may need it on a Saturday evening and no one in the office is in, but the information that we have written down is available for you. And then we do have salary data that alums have shared as they've graduated or within the first year of graduation. And that can give you a ballpark figure of what kinds of things you could be looking for. Bradley also uses another resource called Handshake. And Handshake is a very large nationwide job and internship listing site. Specifically, it's for college students and recent graduates. So if you're a recent grad looking for a job, and I'd say like within the last 3 years of your graduation date, this is an excellent resource for you to use. It's not going to get down to the small and medium-sized employers usually. It's usually for the very large employers. But this is a very heavily used site by employers. It's easy for them to use. Bradley is very fortunate that we have 2 of the major players that we license and use. The one that I prefer to use with alums is called Career Shift. This is one that actually our staff needs to meet with you to walk you through how to use it. It's actually pretty easy once you get started, but the first couple of times it can be, I don't remember doing this step, and once you get it, it's pretty easy. They are getting ready to change the site, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it's going to be a little bit easier. We'll find out on Thursday at a meeting that I'm going to. But I can basically go in and say, you live in such and such zip code. You only want to drive 25 miles or less to work. Here are all the employers within that zip code area for the industry that you're looking in, or a keyword that you put in. And that way you can see the companies and visit the company website directly and see what they're looking for. There are job postings on there. They are pulled or scraped from sites like Indeed, LinkedIn, and a variety of others. And it is very good, but I do utilize that with a level of caution because my preferred method, the employers tell us this is what they prefer as well, is they want you to go directly to their website because then you are applying through their systems, not through Indeed or LinkedIn's Easy Apply or Quick Apply or whatever they're calling it today. So, that's why I like using Career Shift to find the name or the link and going directly. And then we also have something called Career Spots that are quick videos to help people understand, what do employers look for during an interview or things like that. Most of these resources require your Bradley user ID that you had when you were a student. Career Shift, I can set up as its own unique email address, and that's fine. But we can try to work with you to get you into the system if you don't remember your BUNet ID and all that kind of stuff.
I think that's one of the keys. I think a lot of alums don't realize that when you left Bradley University, you may have had 4 years or some amount of email, and you can continue to use that email address, and that's the way you'll log in and have access to not just links anyone could click on, but things that are kind of a benefit of being a Bradley alum. You continue that relationship with Bradley and can keep
Yes.
that email address as long as you want, and it becomes the login method to get access to these resources.
Yes.
So you've done a good job of helping me realize we talk about the Career Center so much and how vital it is to helping students get their first job. And you mentioned there that they come back to you after a little experience and that they have a very different set of needs. And then ultimately, you've got a number of alums who might be coming to you to career change, get back into the workforce, or to ask questions that weren't something they knew about back when they were graduating because something's changed in the industry. You all
Right.
have some experiences with alums that have been out a little while. Is this relevant to someone who's been out for a little while?
Some of these sites are Career Shift in particular. Bradley Network and Handshake are more for the most recent graduates. It's more of our experiences of talking with the employers when we're at the job fairs or when we go to visit them and have them give us ideas of what they're looking for, that type of thing. And we can share that information with our graduates to say, look, this is what the employers are telling us. And if you can follow what they're saying, it's going to make it a little bit easier for you. We understand that during harder economic times like we had back in 2008, networking becomes a major component of the job search, knowing somebody. And that's where your fellow classmates, that's where your neighbors and friends and family come into play. And that's why we want to work with the alumni office to say, look, you remember so-and-so from this class or this faculty member, you may want to reach out to them because sometimes they may have a lead or some guidance that can help you out.
So like this, in a minute, I want to talk to you about the other end and alums who want to connect with potential interns and potential hires. But before we do, I had another question. As you've been talking about this, I imagine an alum saying, 10, 15 years ago when I entered this profession, I was pretty comfortable. And now I'm thinking about a lot of things, haven't been in a job search mode. What are some of the big themes that emerge? I mean, I hear people asking questions about AI and work from home. Do you have some of those themes, some new things that are happening there?
Well, one thing that I really want to emphasize is that, yes, when you graduated from Bradley in a specific major, you may have set a path for yourself to go down, but that does not mean that your major must equal career. That an English major must be a teacher or a writer. There are so many English majors out there that are lawyers, that are in politics, that have moved into business, to any number of different directions. And the same holds true for engineering or for nursing or whatever it is you want to go into. You may want to look down another path, and that's something that we can help you out with. Some of the other things that we're seeing right now is that, yes, AI is massive and it is prevalent in the job search. And we have some people that will use AI to help them to write their resume or help them to prepare for an interview, those kinds of things. And it is a tool, but I don't want you to rely upon it. And I don't want you to have AI actually write the documents for you, because we can see it. We can actually tell many times that, really, is that what you did? That was not exactly how I remember that job on campus or whatever it was. So, you want to speak naturally. You also want to have some details. Be prepared on your resume and in an interview to offer in-depth information about what you did. Not just, I worked as part of a team. What was your role on the team? How many people were on the team? How long did this last? What was the outcome? What were the pitfalls that you had on this team? What did you do to correct them? All those kinds of things can come into play. And I'd have to say that an over-reliance on AI to help job seekers find jobs, and you could program it to say, find all the X kinds of jobs within a certain number of mile radius of my home. But is it really finding everything? And we know of instances where people have set up AI to actually do the application. Don't do this. You have to remember the employers are using AI and they can spot it as well. So you have to be genuine. You have to be yourself.
I appreciate that. I know we recently had a couple of positions here at the university that I was on a search committee for, and the AI applications screamed impersonal. I didn't read your job application
Right.
myself. AI wrote this.
Yeah.
So that's why that personal advising makes such a difference. We started it as you were graduating, and it continues as an alum. Looking beyond that, let's say that they've come here, they've used your resources, they've been wildly successful in their career, and now they're thinking of maybe reaching out to a Bradley student. Maybe they need an intern. Maybe they say my school district is hiring. Maybe they want to get back. How are some things working there? If they wanted to maybe hire or find an intern, what would they do through your office? How would they get those resources?
Well, the first thing is we want you to contact us. We want you to talk to us and let us guide you through the process. Now, I've been at Bradley since 2000. I started off as the associate director and I was a career advisor for the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. And I went through all the stuff that happened in 2008 with the economic downturn. There have been other times like COVID, in which there were trials and tribulations for us to help students find jobs. And many times we relied upon the alumni to come back and share openings and opportunities with us so that we could share them with the current students or fellow alums. So we have been extremely grateful for our alums to do this. And we have alums that range from CEOs of corporations all the way through to a brand new recruiter at an organization, and they're looking for candidates. We want to work with all of you. Okay. So the easiest thing to do is to reach out to a member of our staff, and you can just go in to our system. Underneath the Career Center's website, there's a page specifically for employer resources. And in there, you can discuss your strategy or your needs for your organization with us. You can go in and look at the pictures that are on there and say, well, there's Rick's picture. I want to talk to him because he deals with engineering now. Or I want to talk with Dave Kokandy because he deals with business, etc. Or maybe your company is looking to create an internship program or make it better. David Schwartz would be the person to talk to as our director for internships, that type of thing. We want to meet with you either virtually, on the phone. If you're within a reasonable distance of Peoria, oftentimes we'd like to come in and actually physically meet with you. I gain so much information by going to a site and meeting staff and seeing what they do and meeting our alums, and they can tell me different things far beyond what I would do on a phone call or a virtual session. And we then can share with you, this is how you can post a job in Bradley Network. Actually, the easiest thing to do is just email the URL or the job. We've got students that could post this for you. That's their internship in our office. Your company may be in Handshake. Wonderful. Just make sure that that job is connected to Bradley. And if you need help with that, just let me know. And we'd love to see you back on campus for the job fairs. I really want to see our alums there with their name tags on and the alumni sticker that I get from Alumni Relations. We tell the students and the faculty, go up and talk to these people because they were on campus a few short years ago, just like you are now. And they want to help you out. They want to answer your questions, and it's been fantastic. So we just found out today that the fall job fair will be on Thursday, September 24th. We have not set the date for the spring fair, but it's usually mid to late February. And we'd love to have everybody on campus to hire our students.
I love that. I get the joy of attending those career fairs, and we have an alumni breakfast those days. And at one recently, we met 50 Bradley alumni who were back standing behind the table looking for students that will enter the company and can really tell you their story. But also we see alums from the community say, I'm going to walk around those tables and meet the employers. So an alum can come from either side of the table.
Yes. Yeah. We have alums that come to the fair because they have a resume. They want to talk to somebody because they are looking for a job. Yes, that's what we want. We want you to be there. But I want the alums that are there to say, I have a job. Let me talk to you. Let me connect you with our system. We want to interview you. Those kinds of things.
Well, I like, Rick, that we've covered such a great range today. We've talked about uh, all kinds of resources, and I don't think anybody who watches this seminar will have even begun to scratch the surface that they can easily reach out to you one-on-one. You have a staff. In fact, I'm excited. Our Career Center is a national model for how career centers run. We get compliments all the time. There are specialists in each section. So Rick's not the only guy over there. You've got an entire team. Let's wrap up today with your reminder of what your team can do for someone. If you're an alum, what is that? Reach out. Here's what we can do for you, and we'll leave it to them to call you and ask questions.
Yeah, so we want you to schedule an appointment with us if you're looking for a job or if you're looking for someone to fill a job. And we want to help you through that entire process. If you're looking for a job, you want your resume looked at, you need to talk to somebody about interviewing, you need to figure out some other directions to go, just somebody else to talk to that is kind of independent and can give you some ideas from basically on the sideline of the industry. From the employer perspective, we want you to come back to campus. We want you to recruit. We want you to meet our students, meet with our faculty members to get guidance on what classes are being offered, and you can tell them what you're looking for in industry. And we want to help you to connect. That's probably our biggest thing, be it alumni to alumni, alumni to student, whichever way it is, but we want to help you to connect.
I really appreciate your time today. I know you've got students to see, and I want to thank everyone who wanted to spend a little bit of time reminding themselves that once a brave, always a brave. We'd like to see you continue to succeed in your career. We've got an entire team dedicated to doing that. And to help us better understand that, we had a special guest today, Rick Smith, the Smith Career Center Executive Director. He's over there with the team waiting to hear from you. Did we leave anything out before we let our guests go back to calling you and emailing you?
We're open year round. We have a lot of people think that we are closed during the summer. Nope. That's a high time for us to meet with employers and help students out with internships. Don't think that we're getting ready to close. No, the university's open. We're open.
Perfect way to end, because you're busting myths. We can call you guys our campus myth busters. You're not closed in the summer. You're not just for current students. If you want to bust the next myth, give Rick and his team a call. And I want to thank you again, Rick, for being with us today for Braves Talk. Stay tuned. We're going to have a series of Braves Talks coming up. So go back through our archive, and we look forward to seeing you at the next Bradley Braves Talk. Once a brave, always brave. Thanks for coming.